over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the life.
Let me fix this. All right, what's good? Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Keeping It Real is your go-to show for personal and professional development, diving deep into fitness, public speaking, networking, and sometimes real estate. I appreciate you joining me this evening. Whether you're live or watching on the replay, and if you are live, say hello. This is a live show. Let's connect. This isn't just a show. In fact, it's the start of a growing community. Together, we can build a space where like-minded individuals can connect, learn, and grow personally and professionally. What's next on your personal or professional journey? Comment below, and let's kick this journey off together.
Hello, I'm Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but maybe not this far south.
Also known as Coach FitPro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I'm the coach who talks the talk and walks the walk. I've been there, done that, and now I empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness without feeling overwhelmed by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real. Welcome to the weekly live broadcast, Keeping It Real. All right, today we're starting with fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. After that, the core 4 of networking. Then we'll dive into From Stagefright to Spotlight, the public speaking segment of the show. And then we'll finish up with the Real Estate Roundup segment. Let's get started. All right. Fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. Each week, I alone or with a guest will break down a specific pillar to help you build a balanced, sustainable fitness routine. Week 1 is all about Pillar 1, nutrition habits, master your nutrition, fuel your body for success. Week 2, Pillar 2, stress management, practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Week 3, Pillar 3, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. And then week 4 is all about Pillar 4, recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout both in and out of the gym. All right. On today's show, I'm pumped to welcome 2 amazing guests who are both attorneys and both part of my fitness program, Diet Free Bootcamp for successful real estate professionals and entrepreneurs, right? One's a seasoned vet of the program. The other is just getting started. First up, she's a powerhouse attorney, a mother of 3, and a client I am genuinely proud to work with. Her transformation has been nothing short of inspiring. Welcome back to the show, Casey.
Hi, thank you.
Awesome. So, and joining us for the first time, he's a U.S. Army veteran, chemist, attorney, husband, and father who's already making waves in the program. With his mindset, his honesty, and his willingness to show up. Please give it up for John Norris.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me on, Jay.
Yeah, you're welcome, John. How's it going? Awesome. So glad to have you both on. Let's start with you, Casey. Casey, you've been in the Diet Free Bootcamp for a while now. Let's start by painting the picture. Where were you physically, mentally, and emotionally before joining?
So physically, I was overweight. I was uncomfortable in my own body. I was tired all the time. I had very little energy. Mentally and emotionally, I would say I felt kind of defeated, or I didn't have a whole lot of hope that I was going to find something that was going to work for me and that I would stick with. I kind of had given up, like it's just never going to happen for me. I was kind of just accepted the fact that I was just going to be overweight.
Okay, that makes sense. And you've tried a lot of different things in the past, all that. So you summed it up.
I had tried so many different things, like so many different diets, programs, meal plans. And some of them worked, but I didn't stick with them. Some of them didn't work. Some of them, I would say worked a little bit, but nothing to the extent that I've done with your program.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, John, you're just getting started.
Yes.
What made you say enough is enough? It's time for a change. But, was
Honestly,
there I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to know, was there a specific moment, that pushed you to take action?
I mean, there's no one specific moment, but there was an aggregate of things that were going on. Some of the big highlights were, when I was in the Army, I was in very good shape. I could keep up with everybody. I could run, 2 miles in between 13 and 14 minutes. Like I had taken pride in the ability to do well. And as I had kids and as time went on, I left the military and I started to get really out of shape. But to the point where my son, who does Ninja Warrior, he would do things and I can't go up there and now show him how to do it because I physically can't do it anymore. My daughter does strength training and there's a lot of things I just can't keep up with anymore. So I feel like I was missing out on parts of my children's life and being a better father to them because of this weight that I had accrued over the years.
Okay, that makes sense. Casey, as a Gen Xer who grew up in the era of Snackwell cookies, and fat-free everything, how has your mindset around food evolved since joining the program?
I'm technically a millennial, actually, but I feel more like a Gen Xer. I'm an old millennial. No. So yeah, like growing up in the 90s, right? Everything was fat free, fat's so bad for you. And then it kind of at some point in time transitioned into carbs. Carbs are the devil. I started doing keto. And it was always just one extreme or the next. And I've totally got out of that mindset. I eat carbs, I eat fat, but I eat a lot more protein. And so, it's just realizing that it's not an all or nothing thing. There's not one specific macro that's bad for you. Your body needs all the different macros in order to function properly. You just need to eat the correct amounts of them and in the correct percentages, let's say.
Awesome. Awesome. So, John, as a veteran and chemist turned lawyer, you've worn a lot of hats. A lot of hats. What parallels have you noticed between military discipline and tackling a fitness program like this?
When you're in the Army specifically, I don't know how the other branches handle it, but you break down a mission into its components, the steps that have to happen. You put it into phases. And something like this, like we were talking about, one of the first phases that I had to go through was eliminating a lot of the junk food out of the house and making more healthy options available, still delicious options, just healthier options available in the home. And so you have to have the discipline to actually go through with those steps, take it step by step, get into the program, get your life geared correctly, get your mindset geared correctly so that you can follow through with the steps that need to be done in order for you to achieve whatever goals you have. This program is very much similar to that.
Yeah, no, it does takes organization. That's all. Like you were saying, take the stuff out that shouldn't be there and just have the available options. And like you're saying, it's not like it's not delicious. It's just different options is all, and put it together. All right, Casey, what would you say was your biggest aha moment during the program, if you had one? The thing that made it all click, like, oh, I'm doing this. This is working.
I don't think I had one aha moment. I feel like I've had a series of aha moments over the course, and still they're still happening. I think the first really big change that I noticed was my sleep. Before anything to do with weight, it was just that I was finally sleeping through the night, which was something I never did before this program. So that was the first kind of aha moment. I was like, oh, wow, I slept all through the night. I didn't wake up. And then it was like night after night. And then I'm like, oh, I feel better. I feel awake in the morning. I have more energy. And then I think the next big aha moment was when I finally allowed myself to not try to be so perfect. Like, I know you would always tell me, oh, you have a range of 5 to 10, grams away from your goals, but I wanted everything to be exactly perfect. And that's just kind of how my brain works, anyway. But when I allowed myself to just not beat myself up when I didn't have it perfect or not, if it was stressing me out, I'm trying to put the numbers into the app and I couldn't get it to work out perfectly, being able to say, okay, this is good, and do it, as opposed to just taking forever trying to figure it out perfectly and then maybe not do it correctly. That was another big aha moment that I had, was like, just do a good job. You don't have to be perfect all the time. And if you aren't perfect, don't say F it and give up, because, it's like, oh, I'm not doing it perfect, I quit. So just sticking through with everything. And then the other aha moment, I guess, would be just seeing, after we brought my calories up, when we started bringing them back down, checking out the graph of my weight and seeing, like, it actually is going down. Because when you see it on a day-to-day basis, it goes like up, down, up, down, up, down. So it can be kind of daunting sometimes. But then when you look at it, when you take a step back and you look at the big picture and you see it like actually going down over time, that was exciting for me. Like, this is really working.
I remember you mentioning about your plateau that you had was 140. That you just didn't think your body went below it, and you crushed that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, that's it. That's as low as I get. I don't go below that, and I ended up going well below that. One more thing I would say, another recent aha moment, was that this most recent time when we started bringing my calories back down again, it was like 2 weeks had gone by, maybe 3, and I was starting to notice some changes, and I was like, oh, that was really quick. And so I was like, wow, my mindset has totally changed, because when I first started, it was like, if I don't see results in a week and I haven't lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks, then something's wrong here. But now it's like, I can finally grasp that change takes time and you have to be patient. And now 2 to 3 weeks felt like a really quick.
Yes, Casey was definitely one of the skeptical people, definitely, for sure, but not anymore. Not anymore. John, let's talk about expectations. Speaking of, after hearing Casey's aha moment. So you mentioned getting back to the 1,000 club. It's 1,000 club. For those all you don't know, we're talking about bench, deadlift, and squat. So you mentioned getting back to the 1,000 club and competing a Murph without stopping. And if you don't know what a Murph is, you guys got to look that up. You guys got to look it up. It's insane. I'll have Richie on to talk about it at some point. Anyhow, so how do you balance these long-term goals with the day-to-day hustle of entrepreneurship and law practice?
This is one of the great things about the program, is because you've engineered it towards entrepreneurs, you've engineered it towards very busy people. And so it's not like go to the gym and bang out 2 hours worth of deadlifts, right? That's not what it's about. So you've helped me integrate things like when I go to, like, every hour, taking a break, walking around, and I happen to have 2 flights of stairs that go up to my office. So now I hit 2 flights of stairs down, 2 flights of stairs up. I walk around the building a couple times, some things that just get in some leg work while I'm working regularly. And I've now been going to the gym at 5 a.m. every morning, or I have a gym downstairs in my basement that I've been going to. And the idea is to build up towards those goals, but to incorporate health not just as a one-time, gym banger every day, but instead to make it an integral part of my life as I'm just going through. Also, to kind of use it as a stress relief at the moment, because I had a very strange day today. I'll say that much. But I took the time. I was over at Brockton Court to go up and down 4 flights of stairs. I took the time when I knew I didn't have to be inside the court. I knew I was just waiting for my opportunity. I went down 4 flights, went up 4 flights, and that just gave me a moment to think, gave me an opportunity, but it also put in some leg work, which is going to help me with my squats. It's going to help me with my deadlift. So it's integrating fitness into your life entirely, even if you are busy like I am. Like, I work 12 to 13 hours a day.
Yeah, you're busy, but you got to take care of yourself. This is what it's all about, making it manageable for busy people to take care of themselves.
And I can add to that too, Jason, just that I think that's one of the best things about the program is, you call it Diet Free Bootcamp. Like, it's not a diet. It's not a short-term solution that you're just gonna do for a short period of time, lose a ton of weight, and then gain it all back, because you don't develop the habits that you need to sustain it. So it really is just a lifestyle change that takes time. But the time's gonna go by anyway, like you've said to me many, many times to remind me that it's really great in the long run, but you have to make it just how you live and not just like a short-term thing.
And actually, I agree with that. It's not, I don't look at this as a diet, because a vast majority of the foods that I'm eating are already the foods that I was eating before. It's just like, for example, I can go and have a hamburger if I want to. I just have to track that. And instead of, now that I've been tracking them, the macros a lot more closely, I realized that some of the stuff that we were purchasing had a lot of hidden calories in them that I wasn't aware of before. You figure you grab a burger, it's going to be mostly protein. I found out that the burgers I originally had that we had stocked up in the house, because we have a meat locker downstairs, a lot of the burgers that were downstairs, it was a 2-to-1 ratio of fat to protein. It was way more fat. I mean, when you buy a hamburger at the store, it's like, 93% protein, 7% fat. That's what you look at. But when you buy the pre-made stuff, they stuff it with cheese, they stuff it with more fat, they stuff it with whatever they can. That doesn't include things like oil if you use it for cooking or anything else. So it's a very enlightening process that doesn't necessarily restrict what you're eating. It just enlightens you to it. And then you naturally gravitate towards those things that make you feel better and get you in better shape.
Yeah, awareness. You said it all. That's like the big part of that is just becoming aware. A lot of us, or a lot of people, are not aware. We're aware now, but a lot of people are not aware of what they're consuming at all, and they just don't realize it. When they go to take a look, they're like, "Oh my God!" And they're always shocked. Always.
Yeah, especially those protein bars. I used to grab those fairly often, thinking like, "Oh, this is a healthy snack," and then when you actually read the ingredients, which is like this long, the list of ingredients in them, and look at the nutrition information, it's like a lot of things like that. The packaging looks healthy, but when you actually look at it, it's not.
What freaked me out a lot was I've always used the same protein shake that I've had forever. It's the one I took before I go to work out, and I only looked at the protein and the carbs. That's all I looked at. But then I realized that the milk that we're adding in added a lot more fat, carbs, and sugar than I expected. A lot of these things I had an understanding of, like, adding milk is going to have some carbs. They do add some sugar. It's going to have some protein, and it's going to have some fat to it. But until you actually sit down and do the math, then you realize how much you're over or under what you're expecting it to be and where you want it to be. So it's taking that time, taking the obviously it's taking the time to take care of your body, just making the time to figure out what's actually going in your mouth. And once you do, it's shocking.
And I'd like to add one last thing to what you guys are talking about here, talking about tracking, right? And, I know a lot of people feel a certain type of way about tracking because, they tracked before, but they didn't have the other awareness on like the amounts of the foods and when and all that other stuff, the important stuff, right? So there's a lot of awareness that goes with it, with tracking. And what I wanted to say about that is once you do that and you do become aware and you do this, and again, it's a lifestyle change, right? You're changing your habits, right? So you're becoming aware of what's in all these different foods. Well, there becomes a certain time where you don't have to do it anymore because you just know. Just like anything else in life that you do, whether in your work or in your personal life that you do on a repetitive basis, you're gonna, retain it to some extent at some point. And then you're good. That tracking is only a tool. It's a tool for awareness. It's a tool in the beginning. It's a compass if you lost your way, and then once you get into maintenance, once you get to where you want to be and you get to maintenance, you can not have to track and you're good to go because you have it from doing it and becoming aware in the beginning. That's all. I just wanted to add that it's not forever. It's a tool and it's something that brings awareness and, you don't have to worry anymore about it.
I like to kind of quiz myself sometimes, like if I'm trying to get 120 grams of chicken, I try to estimate it out and then weigh it and see how close I got by eyeballing it. I'm really a geek. I get excited about stuff like that. So
No, well, you eyeball stuff. It's pretty cool after doing it for so often. You can almost tell, oh, that's 100 grams of rice, or that's, it's just from seeing it all the time.
mhm.
And foods aren't going to change, the rest of our lives. I don't think anyway. But anyhow, so yeah, tracking is a tool. It's for awareness, and it goes away eventually. Casey, your transformation has been incredible, nothing short of incredible. 30 plus pounds lost, 7.5 inches off of the waistline, but more importantly, confidence gained, right? What surprised you most about how your physical transformation impacted your professional life?
Um, I wouldn't say it really surprised me because I kind of expected this to happen, but just gaining confidence in yourself by doing what you're supposed to do every day and sticking through, following through with what you said you were going to do to yourself just builds confidence in all other areas. In addition to, liking how I look physically better, there's so much more confidence that comes from just doing the program in general. And that has helped me a lot. I have really bad social anxiety. Networking used to be absolute hell for me. Like I would avoid it at all costs. I wouldn't say I like it yet, but I've gotten so much better about just going and talking to people and putting myself out there a little bit. It's so much easier to do when you're not consumed with thinking about how you look or feeling like embarrassed about the way that you look. You can get your mind to focus on where it needs to focus when you're not thinking about your physical appearance.
Yeah, I was thinking back to some of the shorts that you had mentioned about feeling a certain type of way, networking.
Yeah, that networking has been a struggle for me, but it's definitely gotten easier.
Well, I mean, Casey, for our type of industry, like you're a real estate attorney, I'm a estate planning attorney, and in our respective industries, referrals are one of the biggest ways that we get business, and we get referrals sometimes by networking. Like for example, real estate agents will network with you, and then the two will do business together. I'll meet people who do like long-term care, and we'll do business back and forth together. And having that confidence through networking is I would say vital, especially when you're a law firm owner and
Yeah.
you're trying to grow your brand. It is impossible to get there without proper networking. I follow the four pillars myself. The fortunes in the FU, the follow up. I and that's what Jay says about networking is great, but the confidence from this program feeds into the networking.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's awesome. I'm having technical difficulties with my screen here, but I started off networking being in decent shape. Although when I was a residential real estate agent, I was at my heaviest. I was also about a year or so into starting up my landscape installation renovation business as well. And I didn't do a lot of networking in residential back then. But when I was at my heaviest and I was showing property to people, I was uncomfortable in my own skin. And I remember that. And wearing like the dress shirts that I was wearing and everything was just so tight, and the dress clothes that I was wearing. And that's so I've been there, done that. You know what I mean? So that's why I love to help other professionals out with that sort of thing. Casey.
Mhm.
No, actually, John, you mentioned being self-conscious in a suit. Speaking of, since we were talking about that, right? You mentioned about being self-conscious in a suit and not setting a good example for your kids. What are you doing now to shift that narrative?
So I don't think I will feel comfortable in a suit until I drop a couple of sizes, to be completely honest with you. You talked about not being comfortable in your own skin. I haven't been comfortable in my own skin for over a decade. Um, this is going to sound gross and I apologize, but I can feel the fat moving around. It is something that is on my mind 24/7. One thing I am doing to try to set a good example for my children, my son Ben and my daughter Zoe, is as I'm going through this process, I'm kind of explaining to them what I'm doing because I want them to have a healthy healthy diet themselves without having a real diet, but having them see why I'm choosing the options I'm choosing, why I'm going for grilled chicken instead of grabbing a chicken burger, and going and being like, look, this is what's in there. These are the macros that are included. Here's how I'm keeping track of that, so that way they pick up kind of the good habits I'm trying to develop for myself. Uh, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to feel good. Sorry, my dog's going to go nuts. My kids are now walking in the door. But I don't think I'm going to feel good about myself until I get back down to a decent appearance, a decent weight. And no shame to anybody else who happens to be overweight either, right? You know, I don't judge other people, but I do judge myself very heavily.
Yeah, don't we all? We're our own worst critics for sure, big time.
I think that resonates with me too, John, because I have a daughter. My youngest is my daughter. She's 10 years old, and you know, I wasn't healthy. Therefore, I wasn't giving my kids healthy food. There was a lot of junk food in the house, and you know, she's grown up just with very unhealthy food, and now I love that she's starting to see, like you said, John, like she's seeing what I'm doing, and hopefully that's going to be a good influence on her. And I'm trying to slowly teach her what I'm doing as well, and just so she has some general understanding even of what is protein and why we need it. But that's huge. You know, we always, as parents, always want what's best for our kids. And I felt like I was not doing a great job at that, not setting a great example for my kids, and there's a lot of guilt from that, but I'm just trying to move forward, make it better as we go.
I feel the exact same way. I feel like I am being a negligent parent or a failure as a parent if I'm not setting a good example for my children. And so this is one of the reasons why I try not to insult other people. I don't try to be a negative Nancy. I don't know if everyone uses that term anymore, but I don't want to be one of those people that's always thinking negatively. I try not to be a contrarian. Like, I have a whole bunch of things that I set as guardrails philosophically and mentally for myself so that my children will have some sort of a role model to live up to. But I'm failing tremendously in the weight loss arena because my children see my physical body and they're thinking that's okay. And I'm trying to explain to them through my actions, this is not okay.
Yeah.
No, that's huge. That's huge. That's one of the biggest things, or one of the biggest reasons why I do what I do. Yeah, everyone, I like to help people. I like to cook, whatever. You know what it is? It's legacy, okay? Because as the more people that I can help, that's going to trickle down to their children and their children and their grandchildren and so forth. I'm changing generations. That's what I'm trying to do, is make awareness available and empower people so that they can empower their children, their children, their children, and goes down the line, so that we can kind of, put a dent in this thing that we got going on here.
I agree. A lot of people like to talk about generational wealth. I don't think enough people talk about generational health.
Thank you. I love that, John. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. So to our viewers out there, what's one thing in your closet you've been avoiding because of how it fits or how it makes you feel? Drop it in the comments. Let's normalize with real talk around this stuff. All right. Drop it in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. Mm-hmm. All right. Casey, what's one thing you're doing now, whether it's meditation, strength training, or better sleep, that you never thought you'd stick with?
All of the above. Definitely meditation has been so beneficial for me, more so than I ever thought it would be. So that's definitely a big one. I hadn't really ever tried meditation before, maybe like once or twice for a few minutes. But that helps me tremendously. Also, strength training, like we've talked about before. If I was ever working out before, I was doing cardio. I thought cardio was the only way to go if you wanted to lose weight. And now I actually enjoy strength training. I just got back from the gym, if you can tell by my attire this evening. But I actually like the strength training, and that's something that I know I'm gonna stick with for the long term. Sleep, my sleep is still good, and I love sleep. I'm a big fan of sleeping and napping. So the fact that I can sleep through the night is huge. And yeah,
I'm sure there's a funny story somewhere in there that you could think of at some time. You know, I told you Casey was skeptical, right? And we talk about meditation. Yeah. And now look at that. Look what she just said. I mean, if we could just play back what what I've heard in the past, in the beginning, that's crazy. It's weird how things turn around, right?
I thought it was a little like out there, I wasn't all in the beginning, but I was like, I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. And then when I started feeling the changes of like just handling stress so much better, I was like, oh,
you just heard that, folks, right?
Oh,
you
maybe I was right.
She didn't say I felt, she said I felt better. She stopped herself. Awesome. All right. So John, your list of stressors could give a TED talk. What's one thing from the program that's already helped you begin managing that stress differently?
Well, it's something that I honestly, when I was reflecting on this, I thought about that I used to do in the Army that I don't do now, but I have incorporated because of this program. And I'm very appreciative of that, is that I take a break every like hour-ish to try to just do something physical, get away from the screen, get my mind off what's going on. I tend to think myself into a hole. Casey probably knows this. Attorneys tend to sit there and read law and go so deep down the case law or the statutory law rabbit hole that we get lost in the quagmire of words. And honestly, it kind of slows you down and makes sure the work's not great. Just getting up, walking away, getting out of the mindset, focusing on absolutely nothing or something else entirely, and then coming back and sitting down and going back to work has reset that stress meter every hour. So it's not just building and building and building until I lose my mind. That's been incredibly helpful.
Awesome. Kind of letting some steam out of the pressure cooker as you go on. Awesome. Who else, this is for the audience, who else remembers trying to get shredded in the 90s by eating nothing but plain turkey breast and rice cakes? Remember rice cakes?
I remember my mom eating rice cakes. That was my...
It was a thing. It was. Comment your most ridiculous 90s fitness trend memory below. Yeah, even if you're on the replay, we got to hear this. All right, so Casey, what advice would you give someone who's on the fence? They've tried it all and nothing sticks.
This works. It works. That's my advice. Is well, it works if you stick with it, if you're consistent with it, and you gotta give it time. That was really hard for me in the beginning. I wanted instant results. I was like, is this working? Is this working? Every day asking, is this supposed to be happening? But like, you gotta be patient and just put in the work consistently. That's the important part, is just to stick with it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because like I said, I tried every diet under the sun and never stuck with anything long-term before. And this one I have, so. Yeah.
All right. So John, looking forward, where do you see yourself a year from now if you keep showing up for yourself and being consistent, like Casey was saying, the way you have already started to, whether you're a real estate professional, entrepreneur, or just someone ready to stop feeling stuck? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
So I think a year from now, I'll be able to get back in the thousands club. So I deadlifted 400 recently, and I happen to love deadlifts. It's just kind of like my thing. For squats, I need to work on them. Bench, I need to work on hard. I'm only at 195, which is just not acceptable. But I feel, even with the slight, so for anyone who doesn't know, I just went to Vegas for a little bit. And prior to that, I was on the diet. I was keeping track. I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing. Jay was helping me with the program, kind of tweak what I was going through and to make the meals a little bit better. So that way, like, everything fits out. But when I went to Vegas, I didn't have access to like a grocery store. Like, the food out there is what you get. So you're up and down on the strip and you're going to restaurants all the time. In just that short week of going off of what I'd already started, I already start to feel more sluggish. I'm feeling it now as I'm going back to the gym, and my body's just not responding the way it was before. So I think in a year, the next time I go to Vegas will be next July. So I think that by then I should probably be in much better shape. I'm thinking dropping 30, maybe 40 pounds. And then at that point, I should be able to do the Thousands Club. And on top of that, probably get a Murph done without stopping. I think I'll be able to hit all those goals, because if the beginning of this program is anything to go by, I see a lot of really strong progress in the near future.
Awesome. Awesome. And again, whether you're a real estate professional entrepreneur or just someone who's ready to stop feeling stuck and start feeling strong, the message here is really simple. Fitness fuels success. Whether you take care of your health, when you take care of your health, everything else gets better. Your work, your energy, your relationships, your confidence, everything, your sleep. You've heard it. All right. Everything. Big thanks again to Casey Cole and John Norris for keeping it real with us today. I mean, you both are crushed. Well, Casey, you crushed it. John, you're now crushing it. Casey, continuing to crush it. And you both are living proof that transformation is possible, no matter how busy, how stressed, or how stuck you feel. All right. I got the program for you. If you're watching and you want to learn more about the Diet Free Bootcamp, shoot me a message or drop a fire emoji in the comments. If you don't know how to do that, just write fire. That'll work. Let's make your breakthrough the next one. Casey, John, thank you both for showing up, speaking the truth, and proving that real change isn't about perfection, right? It's about commitment and consistency. All right.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
All right. You've inspired a lot of people today just by being honest, vulnerable, and consistent. And that's exactly what this journey is all about. To everyone watching, you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to get started like John did. All right. And you don't need to be stuck forever, because Casey's story proves you can come out the other side stronger than ever and smaller. So once again, much love and respect to both of you guys. All right. I'm proud to be your coach, and even prouder to call you guys teammates. Until next time, keep it simple, keep it moving, and above all else, keep it real, especially when it comes to your fitness. That wraps up today's fitness success segment. Next Monday is week 3. So we'll be discussing pillar 3, physical activity, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. If you want to join the conversation as a guest or have your questions featured on the next episode, just drop a comment below. Yes, even if you're watching the replay. Let us know and we'll make it happen. All right. The core 4 of networking. Networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. In the core 4 of networking segment, I break down the key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Do you know about the core 4 of networking? Can you tell me what they are? They're right there on the screen. Not anymore. All right. Here's a short clip that'll get you up to speed on what the core 4 of networking are. What's up? I'm here with Al to give you guys another networking tip. We've given you 3 so far, and today we're going to give you a 4th. But before we do, let's recap. What's the first thing they got to do, Al?
Show up.
You got to be present and accounted for. What's the second thing?
Be yourself.
You be you, your authentic self, because nobody likes fake people. Not a good look. What's number 3?
Pay attention.
You got to do some active listening. You got to know what's going on. You don't want to stare into somebody's eyes and nod your head thinking about what you got to say next. Pay attention. And now that the recap's done, I think the 4th one's the most important. What do you think, Al?
Oh yeah, there's no point in doing all 3 if you don't do the 4th.
That's right. So why is the 4th so important now?
Because the fortune's in the FU.
What do you mean?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Ah, that's right. Follow up. Don't have a conversation with somebody, take their business card, and then do nothing. Follow up. Speaking of following up, if you guys would like to hear more networking tips from Al and myself, comment more or yes please underneath this video. And Al, what are we going to do after they make that comment?
Follow up.
Haha, that's right. See you guys later. All right, I'll be breaking down the core 4 1 week at a time. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Week 3, pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. Week 4, follow up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. All right, what's the most significant networking hurdle that you have faced, and how'd you tackle it? Or are you still working on it? Please share your biggest networking challenges and how you've addressed them in the comments below. In addition to exploring the core 4 of networking, this segment will also showcase local members of the networking organizations I'm affiliated with, as well as other businesses and professionals in my network. I'll also provide insights on local networking events that I attend. We've talked about showing up, but today we're unlocking a powerful truth that most people overlook. Be yourself, because faking it doesn't make it in networking. If you've ever left a networking event feeling like you had to put on a mask just to fit in, then this episode is for you. Authenticity isn't optional. It's your advantage. Here's the deal. People can spot a fake from a mile away, especially in business, especially in real estate. You're not just selling a service, you're selling trust. And trust starts with being real. Let me ask you, have you ever met someone at a networking event who seemed too polished or too rehearsed? How quickly did you tune out? Now flip it. The people you remember are the ones who were honest, relatable, and human, right? Before your next event, take 60 seconds to write down 2 to 3 things that make you unique. Your quirks, your backstory, your why. Then weave these into your conversations. Real stories spark real conversations. Instead of saying something generic like, "Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a commercial real estate professional." Try this instead. "Hey, I'm Jason Harris. I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but I'm also big on helping professionals beyond the paperwork. I host a video podcast on fitness, networking, and public speaking because I believe the best variation of you closes more deals and lives a better life." This works because it's authentic, commercial real estate professional, plus your personal mission. It's multidimensional. You're not just your job. And it gives people a hook to continue the conversation. Your podcast, your mission, your personality. Here's another action step. Replace your elevator pitch with a real intro. Something like, "Hi, hey, I'm Jason. I help navigate commercial real estate with less stress and more clarity. And I also host a video podcast to help professionals level up their fitness, mindset, and network." See the difference? You're not selling, you're sharing. What's one part of your story that most people don't know, but should? Drop it in the comments. Let's get real together. Having yourself isn't risky. Being yourself is it's not risky. It's magnetic, because in a room full of people trying to impress, the most impressive thing you can be is authentic. That's how you turn contacts into clients and conversations into partnerships. Next Monday is week 3, so the topic will be pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. Until then, show up, be yourself, pay attention, and most of all, follow up. And keep building the relationships that move your business forward. If you've got a story to share and want to be a guest on the show, reach out. I'd love to have you. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and let's make some on-camera magic happen. Next up is the public speaking segment of the show, From Stagefright to Spotlight. Our comprehensive public speaking segment is designed to help you master this crucial skill. Whether you're speaking to a large audience or just in front of a small group, this segment of the show will give you the tools you need to shed the stage fright and step confidently into the spotlight. This segment of the show will also have guest appearances from some of my fellow Toastmasters. And if you don't know what Toastmasters is, I'll tell you now. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. I happen to belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts, and we currently meet virtually on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. On today's From Stage Fright to Spotlight segment, I have a couple of things to share with you. First thing, I'm going to share a public speaking tip with you. Today's public speaking tip: the part of your message that people see before they even hear you. Body language. Your body is always speaking. Make sure it's saying the right thing, the truth. You can say all the right words, but if your body's tense, stiff, or closed off, you're sending mixed signals, and mixed signals cost credibility. Let me give you a couple action steps. First action step: next time you're on a Zoom or in person, check your stance. Feet shoulder width apart, chest up, arms relaxed at your sides, or in an open gesture. All right, no fig leafing. No fig leafing. No crossed arms. That's a no-no as well. Action step number 2. Record a video of yourself speaking for 60 seconds, muted. Just watch your body. Would you trust and follow that person? Try it out. See what happens. Are you a hand talker, a frozen statue, or a fidgeter? Let me know in the comments. No judgment, just awareness. Just curious. Your words matter, but your presence sells the message. Master your body language, and the spotlight starts working for you. The second thing I wanted to share with you is to invite you to my next Toastmaster meeting. The next meeting will be next Wednesday, July 23rd, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to experience a virtual meeting and see what it's all about, comment Spirited, and I'll share the link with you. Again, comment Spirited, and I'll share the link with you. When you log on, or when you log into the meeting, don't be scared. Feel free to sit back and observe from the sidelines. We'll make you feel welcome, but participation is optional. No pressure, just relax and enjoy the experience. Hope you attend. Now let's move on to the final segment of today, the Real Estate Roundup segment. The Real Estate Roundup segment keeps you updated on the latest in the real estate world. Whether you're interested in residential or commercial, this segment has got you covered. I'll invite guest experts on to share insights and discuss the subjects that you want to hear more about. If you didn't already know, I'm with Jay Nuss Realty Group. We are a commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm out of Braintree, Massachusetts, servicing all of Eastern Massachusetts. We specialize in commercial real estate transactions, including sales and leases. And we also consult on a variety of commercial real estate related matters, including but not limited to nonprofits, religious and otherwise, potentially environmentally compromised property, and transit-oriented development. Other services include commercial lease audits, and if you or anyone you know owns a commercial property and wants to know its worth on the current market, we can do a commercial broker opinion of value for you. If you or someone you know is in need of a commercial real estate professional, please contact us directly or comment under this video and we will follow up with you. All right. Residential agents out there, have you ever tried to navigate a commercial lease or a sale transaction and were confused by it or got stuck? There are differences and nuances involved. Did I mention that we also work with residential real estate brokers? And if you're a residential agent or broker in need of commercial expertise, please don't hesitate to contact us for assistance. What real estate topics spark your curiosity the most? Residential, commercial, or something entirely different? I'd really appreciate it if you shared your thoughts in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, your input is just as valuable. Your feedback will guide me in creating future content. So thank you for that. Keeping it moving. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every week, we'll dive into important topics that will help you grow, with a mix of fun and practical advice, from nutrition habits to real estate, public speaking to networking strategies. This show is designed to inspire you, keep it real, and of course, keep it fun. Today, in the fitness success segment, we had two amazing guests who shared their experiences with my fitness program, Diet Free Bootcamp, for real estate professionals and entrepreneurs. Then in the Core 4 of Networking segment, we unlocked a powerful truth that most people overlook: be yourself, because faking it doesn't make it when it comes to networking. In the public speaking segment of the show, From Stagefright to Spotlight, we covered the power of body language in public speaking. And I invited you to visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting, which is next Wednesday, the 24th, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Comment spirited if you're interested. Then lastly, in the Real Estate Roundup segment, I told you about the services of my commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm, Jay Nuss Realty Group, and how we love working with residential agents. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a comment about what you enjoyed. If you didn't, let me know that too. All feedback is welcome. If you arrived after we started or missed any details, don't worry. You can always check out the replay. Before we end today's show, I have one last thing to share. Every show will end on a high note with a funny meme or short, hilarious video to keep you smiling. Please stand by for this week's funny moment.
Can I do something real quick? No. 3, 2, 1.
I told you not to do that. You done knocked the wind out yourself. Silly.
I don't know where'd that go. There we go. Thanks for joining me today. I can't wait to see you for more Keeping It Real. Be sure to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't hesitate to get involved. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep it real. See you next Monday on July 21st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I know everybody a go like. I know everybody a go like. Success don't come overnight.